hold on. I hit the wrong. What are we doing here? Start streaming. Yes. Okay, so YouTube says it's going. Alright, let me see about the other two. Okay, so Facebook is good. Instagram doesn't seem to be doing anything. Okay, now Instagram looks to be connected. Here comes Insta. Okay, alright, so we're good. Alright, sorry about that. Tech check, it always seems to not quite go the way I want it to. Okay, alright, so we're live. Okay, we're live everywhere. Okay, excellent. Let me just hide all that so that I can concentrate on you guys because you are, of course, the whole reason we're going live anyway. It's a weird time in travel. We're in that lull. Spring break is fast approaching. And spring break is one of those weird times that different schools do different ways. My son's former school will be going on spring break in March, so will his college. The school I tutor with is going on break right before Easter, so they're April. So it's a very busy time in the travel industry, but it's not like it's certain dates like it is, like between December 15th and December 31st for the holiday season, or even from like November 20, from Thanksgiving through New Year's. It's kind of a little bit different for everybody. So if you're one of those April spring break families or spring break couples, because all the teachers out there, some of them have kids, some of them don't, but they all get spring break right along with their students. And if you're an April spring breaker and you want to do a trip, there's probably still some stuff out there. Let me know where you want to go and we'll find you something excellent. If you're a March spring breaker, if you're looking at maybe mid-March, second half of March, there's probably stuff out there for you too. If you're going in like 10 days, 2 weeks, we might be able to pull something together. Reach out to me and we'll figure it out. That said, there is no perfect spring break trip. I've been to Disney World. I've been to Universal Studios. I've been to Charleston. I've been to Savannah and Tybee Island in Georgia. There's the always popular like the Keys and the beaches of Florida for spring break. All those places are great. If you want to spend a week at Grandma and Grandpa, that's great too. If you want a road trip somewhere, that's awesome. Really doesn't matter. What matters is that you get away, you get that break, you get that reset that you need. So let me know how I can help you do that. Having said that, once we cross the kind of the spring break line, I'm gonna call it kind of like the Mason-Dixon line, but the spring break line. Summer fast approaches. It really, I mean, it's summer is 3 months out, give or take, starting tomorrow because tomorrow is March 1st. But that time is going to fly. And there's going to be so much other stuff going on. There's going to be weddings and anniversaries and baby showers and Mother's Day and Father's Day. Most families probably have a couple birthdays thrown in there for good measure. You might have, you might have an engagement. You might have a guys trip, girls trip for the bachelor or bachelorette parties that go with that engagement to let them kind of get to know each other a little better before the big event and all the things that you're going to be doing together. So those things are going to be coming between now and the end of the school year. So first of all, I want to tell you don't panic. I am happy to help you plan any of those trips. We can cruise, we can do destinations, we can do all inclusives, we can do the theme parks. Don't forget Epic Universe is opening in May. We're currently heading to Disneyland, or Disney's California Adventure more appropriately. Is gearing up for Food and Wine. Disney World is gearing up for Flower and Garden. Both really awesome festivals, no doubt about it. I love all the topiaries. I saw that they brought Phineas and Ferb back this year for Flower and Garden, and I'm loving it. I am a Phineas and Ferb and Agent P fan. My son adored them as a kid. We did the quest in Epcot where you have to help Perry on his mission. It was awesome. I still have photos from it. I still love it. I still look at those photos and remember all the cool effects and all the cool stuff it did, and fond memories that will never go away. That's the best part of a travel vacation, especially if you're gifting. You've got a graduate. You've got an eighth grader. Maybe you want to do a weekend at their favorite theme park for eighth grade graduation. You've got a high schooler. Been there, done that recently. My son went to Italy for 2 weeks with his dad while I stayed home with my mom, who was recouping from her knee replacement. But it's a fabulous trip. It's a trip he still talks about. He's looking at exchange student opportunities in Italy with his college. He will never forget it, and that's the best gift you can give, is the one that 50 years from now they're going to be saying, I remember when I graduated from high school and I went to Italy and so and so gave me that trip and it was the greatest trip of my life and I met your grandmother there. Okay, that's a little hyperbole, but you get my point. It's going to be something they never forget. That said, we go to Disney every year for our birthdays. My son will never forget those trips, and even on the last one, he was talking about the next one. So it's travel is a good gift for any age, and those memories you will make will be priceless. Especially as the years go by and things get busier and busier, and it gets harder and harder to take them. Whether your kids are busy with sports, or they're drama kids, or maybe they're in robotics, or maybe they're high schoolers and they want a summer job because they want to save up for college, or they want to, it's junior year and they want to save up for their ring, or they want to start putting money away towards prom and graduation and senior week. um, make those memories while you can, because you just never know what you might miss if you don't. So I would love to help you with all of those. um, The other cool thing I found this week, there are ticket deals for Epic Universe for Florida residents. I believe there are also some for those of us who do not live in Florida. Um, Package deals, of course, ticket deals and package deals, and there are some nice discounts if you want to make a vacation out of it and stay on Universal property. Don't forget that gets you early entry and some other cool perks. And oh, yes, yes, that's where I was going. I was going to tell you that the train tour at Disneyland is back. It starts in March. You can book it starting yesterday. Um, you get to see the Roundhouse. Which is, of course, where the engines sleep at night, if your kids watch Thomas the Tank Engine. Um, I think Chuggington also had a roundhouse of sorts, too. I know, I'm dating myself. I need to watch the more current cartoons. I do love Bluey. But you get to tour the Roundhouse, you'll get to see some of the maintenance, you'll learn the history of the trains, and you get to ride in the presidential car. You also get a special souvenir as part of the tour. The tour is 90 minutes, and you can book it online now. Um, we're gearing up for Food and Wine out in California. There are some excellent, I love the fact that they include so much local farm to table things in all their dishes in California. I know they try to do it in Florida too, but I don't know, it just feels more like it belongs in California, I guess, although I know Florida does it too. And don't forget, in Florida, a lot of what you eat comes from Epcot. We have Living with the Land and the greenhouse that goes with it, and that greenhouse is a real live, actual greenhouse where they grow sustainable fish and sustainable plants and some Mickey shaped things that get used throughout the resorts. And don't forget, you can do the behind the seeds tour, where you get to actually walk through the greenhouse and you learn more about how it works and all the sustainable things they do with it. And it's really cool. We did it one of the spring break trips we were there with my son. We did it, And it's just really neat to be kind of behind the scenes. And, I always wonder, like, wonder what the people in the Living with the Land ride are thinking. Like, why are all those extra people in the greenhouse? They must be doing something special today. Well, yeah, they're doing the tour. I also love the fact that they are starting to do themed overlays with it. They have one for Christmas. I believe they also did one for the Food and Wine Festival. So, and you don't have to do anything special. All you have to do is ride Living with the Land. And if there's a special, I'm going to call it an overlay, just like they do for It's a Small World. If there's a special theme going on in the greenhouse, all you have to do is ride the ride. You get it, it's a bonus. Um, all right, so let's talk about a not so fun topic. What happens when you're on vacation and you're cold or your injury finds you? I am currently dealing with a sinus issue this week, not allergy sinus. I thought that's what it was. I took my medicine. It didn't it sort of helped it, but it really just took the edge off. So I have stuff to keep it out of my chest and an antibiotic from the doctor. So I'm on the mend. But what happens when it turns up on your vacation? I've had it turn up on my vacation. It is not fun. But there are lots of things you can do to lessen your symptoms and find the help you need. So let's talk about some of those things. Wherever you're staying, the hotel you're staying in, whether it be at a Disney resort, be it Universal, or be it in a city, Big Apple, Chicago, LA, whatever, the concierge at your hotel should have a list of um, urgent cares and such you can visit. Of course, if it's really that bad, you want to call 911. If you're in the parks, of course, there's always the first aid station at the front of the park. And you can always, if you need to, grab the nearest cast member. That's what I did when I hurt my hand in Disney. We grabbed the nearest cast member, and she told us where to go to get ice, and we put ice on it while I walked over to first aid. Um, if you are in Disney and you're back at your resort, maybe it hits you one night. You come back and you think, boy, I'm extra tired tonight. Even I'm more Disney tired than usual. If you do Disney, you know Disney tired. It's a level of tired that really isn't experienced anywhere else. At least not yet by me. Um, and you get up the next morning and you still just it's not happening. Maybe your throat's scratchy, maybe you're achy, maybe your head is all full of gunk. Um, Start with the shop in your resort. They almost always have, and sometimes if there's really something going around, you will notice it gets a little picked over. But there's almost always a couple different kinds of cold medicine. There's Advil and Tylenol and things for aches and pains. There is usually also eye drops, Kleenex, alcohol prep pads. What am I thinking of? Antibacterial wipes for wiping down things that you've touched, that other people who don't want your cold are also going to need to touch, like doorknobs and light switches and TV remotes. Um, if you're in the parks, maybe it's not a cold, maybe you're in the parks and you get a headache. Most of the bigger shops towards the front of the park, I'm thinking the Emporium on Main Street. There are the two big shops that are across from each other in Animal Kingdom. Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood Studios, and there's also, I would have said Mouse Gears, and I know this tells you how many years I've been going to Disney. Mouse Gears used to be the big shop in Epcot, and they've changed that around with the new things. But there is always the bigger shops almost always have travel sized medicine. You might have to grab a cast member and ask. A lot of times it's behind the register. And of course, you can always, if you're near the front of the park anyway, you can always head to first aid. First aid will usually also be able to give you band-aids. It's nice if you get blisters on your feet. Not that I ever get blisters. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that blisters are one of my travel nemesises. Um, I'm not sure if it's nemesis or nemesi, but I think you know what I mean. Um, so ace bandages, band-aids for cuts and scrapes. Um, First aid will also, a lot of times, and this is something you can do if you're done in you're done your park days, you're headed out, you're flying home that night, and you've got spray sunscreen and you only have a carry-on bag and you do not want to throw it away. It one of the years I went in January before I was a travel agent, we got spray sunscreen at the airport and it was like, oh my God, it was horrendous. It was like $25, which I thought was absurd, but since we were staying on property and we really didn't know that there was going to be anywhere close enough to get anything cheaper, we got something so that we didn't get sunburned. Because I sort of look like Sebastian from The Little Mermaid if I'm not careful. Um, and it was only like half full, and we pitched it. And I wish I had thought to drop it off at first aid or one of the baby changing stations, one of the childcare rooms, because that way they can give it to a family or somebody who, hey, I had it with me and it fell out on the ride and I lost it, and I can tell I'm going to be burned in an hour. Um, so just a couple tips. If you're in a big city, of course, talk to the concierge, get that information about urgent care, and also find out where the nearest drugstore is. Maybe it's just a cold. Maybe you just need some Mucinex, some NyQuil, whatever your go-to cough medicine of choice is. It's always important to stay hydrated, and it's something that's often easy to overlook when you're on vacation because you're not in your normal routine. If you're in Disney in August and it's 89, it's 89 with a real feel of like 102, you're probably going to, the misting fans are going to be out. The cast members are going to be, kind of like keeping an eye on everybody as they're walking around the park. Um, but if it's like beautiful and 75 and you're in LA, might not occur to you to hydrate. So if you wake up with that scratchy, itchy, awful throat, try having some water or some decaffeinated tea. Try pushing your fluids of choice, preferably not caffeinated and not alcoholic, especially not first thing in the morning, um, and see if you're feeling any better. Sometimes it really is just dehydration or tiredness, and sometimes fixing one or the other of those helps. But if it truly is an illness, talk to the concierge. There are plenty of urgent cares. There are also for Disney, I know there are doctors that will come to you in your room. They can hook you up with those. Of course, if it's truly a medical emergency or you feel it's a medical emergency and you don't think urgent care is the right answer, call 911. Um, and if you think it's just, oh, I overdid it, oh, it's all the flowers are blooming and my allergies are just really cranking up, try either a shop in the park, first aid in the park, or the shopping. See, told you I'm not 100% today. Um, or the shop in your resort. They usually have Benadryl and Kleenexes and saline spray and cough medicine and stuff for aches and pains. I'm just going to throw this out there because you know me, I'm the blister girl. Um, they also have safety pins and alcohol prep pads that you can use to sterilize said safety pins and pop those blisters on your feet. Um, my son horrified me after the January marathon. He said, yeah, I had blisters and I used a kitchen knife. Now, granted, they had a DVC resort, they had real silverware raw. I'm like, um, why did you not just go to the shop and get safety pins and alcohol prep pads? He's like, oh, I didn't think I could do that. So don't scare your travel partners. Don't scare the people at home who are thinking about you. Go to the shop and get the tools to pop those blisters safely. And remember, you don't truly want to pop them. You just really want to puncture them so the fluid drains. You want to leave the blister in place because it's protecting the skin underneath. You really just want to drain them so that pressure goes away. And then, when you're home, for me, it took about 3 weeks. I was back for like 2.5, 3 weeks when all the cushioning protective skin on that used to be a blister got all dried up and ready to come off. So, okay, now that I've grossed you out and scared you to death, hopefully not, but you never really know about these things. I would love to help you travel and make some memories that you will never forget. So please let me know where you want to go. We can cruise, we can do an all inclusive, we can hit a new city you've always wanted to explore. Um, there, of course, are great things happening at the theme parks. We have Food and Wine out in California. We have Flower and Garden in Epcot. We have all those great the Great Summer Concert Series coming at Epcot. There's Epic Universe coming to Universal. There's always, the Harry Potter portion of Universal is going to expand with Epic Universe and add a whole new area. But you can still do Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley now. If you want to go before school's finished for the year and the crowd levels rise a little bit, we can make that happen. Don't forget you can go cruising. You can do an all-inclusive like a beaches or sandals. There are family-friendly all-inclusives. So if you want to do a family-friendly all-inclusive, I can help you with that. If you want to do a big family trip to Disney World, you could do a villa. Why not get a 3-bedroom villa? Give mom and dad a room, give grandma and grandpa a room, give auntie and uncle a room, and then the kids can just kind of bunk out in the living room in the fold outs. It's all possibility. So let me know where you want to go and what kind of memories you want to make, and we will make it happen. I'm going to keep taking my antibiotics, and I'm going to be better by the time I see you next week. Knock on wood. And I want everybody to stay safe, stay well, and have a fabulous week ahead. I know the weather calmed down some last week. I'm hoping that we keep that trend for a little bit. But wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have fun, hug your loved ones, and have a great week till I see you again next Friday. Bye.